Hello and welcome to January 2025. Don't know where we've got to, how we've got to there. Little Yarny chat with me, Millie from the Slip Stitch, and my lovely friend today, Snugglebean. She likes to get in on what I'm doing. She might leave us, perhaps. Anyway. So yes, hello and welcome to January's little catch-up video where I'm going to tell you about some things I've been doing, knitting. No crochet this month, I don't think. Don't know why. I've been doing my blanket, that's why. And there's not much progress to show you. So I will tell you about all my knitting things I've been up to. So last few sessions I have shown you my mum's green cardigan, which is the Gnarled Oak pattern by Never Not Knitting. And Snugglebean, get down. And I finished it, you'll be really pleased to know. At last, only a year and a half later from when I bought my yarn at the Lace Knittery, I have finally finished the jumper cardigan. I'm really, really happy with it. Here is the detail around the yoke. Here is the whole cardigan. So Mum just needs to pop on some buttons, which I've chosen for her, and she will stitch on when she's ready. But it's a really lovely pattern. I have knitted this twice, once in a blue for me. As you'll probably have heard me saying in the previous videos, that I lost the love of it knitting it again, and I don't often knit things twice. I think that's why. But I loved knitting the yoke a bit, so I think it was just maybe because it was plain. But yes, it's done. The yarn, since I've blocked it, washed it and blocked it, is so much softer than I thought it was going to be. When I was knitting it, it was quite harsh, quite lumpy, and it made my fingers quite sore. I've never really had a yarn which done that, because I think there's a spin on it and it's quite dense. But since I've washed it and blocked it, it is so soft, and I wish I could remember what it was I bought. All I remember it's from the Lace Knittery, and it came in skeins. My mum and her friend balled it up, and I don't think I ever saw a band after that, so I can't actually tell you what it is, but I wouldn't be surprised if it might have a bit of maybe something silky in it. It feels silky now I've washed and blocked it, but only a tiny little percentage if it has. But yes, so that is the Never Not Knitting pattern Gnarled Oak. I've also knitted, I don't know if I showed these last time, these were for my December sock club, and we were knitting Briny Bear's pattern Winter Solstice socks. Here is a little closer up of the detail. I love these. It was a really nice little pattern repeat, enough to keep my brain engaged, but not too complicated that I couldn't remember it. I used Rooster's Folly, which Sarah used to work for me when I had the shop. She dyed this back when I had the shop, and it's been lingering in my stash waiting for the right project. And when we chose Winter Solstice sock pattern, I knew straight away that this was the yarn for it. I've also used some leftovers of onion yarn. It's by Onion Yarns, and it's nettle fibre. It's a really hard wearing yarn. Actually, it's really good for me on the heels because I'm a bit of a hard wearer on my socks. And this time the pattern had a different shaped toe. It has an umbrella toe. I haven't knitted one before, I don't think, but it's really easy and it's a really interesting shape. I haven't worn them yet, but when I do, I'll give you my verdict. But I think I'm going to really enjoy wearing this shaped toe. So yeah. So anyway, I have done the pair, just in case you thought she's done a Millie and she's only knitted one sock of a pair again. Nope, I have the pair, and I'm going to be wearing them tomorrow. While we're talking socks, I've also been doing some darning on my socks. So this is something I put off until I've worn through all my socks, and this is a really bad example. I've just realised I didn't darn this foot of my sock. I thought I had, and I've just looked and it's got a hole. So I darned the other foot of my sock. Don't know what happened, missed that one out. Here we are, here's the one I've darned. So yeah, here is, as you can see, I wear my heels quite heavily, and so I've done a spot of darning. I decided to go eclectic and use whatever oddments I've got. I'm not really worried about them matching. No one sees it when it's down the bottom of my shoe, and it makes them have more life, and I love wearing my woolly socks, so just gives them longer life. I was quite proud of myself. I did about 4 pairs the other evening, so yeah, must keep up on that one. So what else have I been doing? We had our Christmas Eve cast on last month, obviously on Christmas Eve, and I showed you this yarn I bought when we had retreat back in October, and it's a 4-ply alpaca from UK Alpaca, and I knew straight away when I bought it what it was I wanted to knit with it. This was it. I had the pattern in my head, and it was just a matter of getting it on my needles. So that was what I did for Christmas Eve cast on, was I wanted to make a cowl out of it. So my cowl can be worn like this. I like a little one which you can wear like this, just keeps the back of your neck warm. If I'm putting my coat on, I can fold it and tuck it in, or it's long enough to also loop round, so you've got a double layer of it. So yes, that was my plan, because I like to wear mine in many different ways, and being alpaca and 4-ply, it's really thin but also warm. So yep, this is my Christmas Eve cast on. Might leave it on now. And I am obsessed with Latvian braids at the moment, so there's one at the top and one at the bottom with the pink. I just think it adds a nice little bit of colour, but not too strong a colour. And the best bit is I've got the same, I had a ball of each, so I'm going to knit it again, but in the opposite colourway, so pink base with a little bit of the bluey colour. I'm also going to write the pattern up at some point. It's on my to-do list, so I will be looking for some pattern testers. Get in touch if you'd like to test it when I've got my acting game written it. It's knitted in the round on 4.5mm needles, so maybe it was 4s. See, I need to write my pattern up and double check all my notes. But yes, I love this. It's really cosy. And we had some fabulous Christmas Eve cast on projects. I've literally just looked at Facebook and seen Elaine has finished knitting her cardigan in this lovely variegated yarn. Fiona knitted crocheted, wasn't just knitting, it was crocheting as well. Fiona crocheted a cowl with some pinks and blues. I've seen some finished mitts crocheted mitts from Alison, who has got the most cutest little owls on them. They are just adorable. So yes, I've seen lots of different things people have been doing, and I'm going to do a little post about it in a few days. And there has been no rush with this project. Christmas Eve cast on can continue all year. So I know that some people are still working on theirs, and there's no rush. They can post it up any time. The group is always still active, and I look forward to seeing their makes any time they post them up. So what else? I went to Edinburgh this weekend. Yeah. We took a train trip, and it was hours on the train, and it was lovely because I did so much knitting. That's how I managed to finish this second one as a winter solstice sock. And I also cast on this lovely sock pattern by Settlers Design. which we're using for Sock Club this month, this Saturday. I've used Drops Fable for this. I think it was meant to be in a kit for some other socks, but I've nabbed it for this. And it's got a really nice stitch definition for the colour work. I am very conscious on socks that sometimes my knitting can pucker. So I've been it's got 72 stitches round. And also I was really concentrating on making sure my floats were loose. So they are pretty loose. You want them that loose, otherwise you won't get it up over your heel and instead onto your foot. So some people turn them inside out as they're knitting, but I'm not that clever. It blows my brain trying to work out how to do that. So I didn't, I just made sure they were loose. And as you can see, I'm on my way to the toe. And yes, on my way there. I'll have that done in an evening or two. Only sock 1 though. Got to then do sock 2. And we all know my track record. Although 2025 is the year I'm going to do both socks of a pattern. Don't hold me to it. So that's what I was doing up and down on the train to Edinburgh. And also when we were in Edinburgh, I went on a trip to Ginger Twist Studios. It was the goal of my holiday. That and some bookshops. And it's beautiful. Jess, who runs it's lovely. And she has got so many lovely yarns. She hand dyes yarn as well, so there is a whole wall of her hand dyes, and there's a whole walls of other yarns. And I really wanted to knit something in some yarn from Scotland. It seems daft going all the way up there and buying something which I could get anywhere else. So my goal was to find some Scottish yarn. So, get the bag on the table. Bear with me a moment. Right, let's try again. So I have bought this beautiful Angora from Orkney Angora. It's 50% Angora, 50% lamb's wool. It's Angora bunnies, but they are not muleized. They're very well cared for bunnies, and they don't shave them. They do it very naturally. And it's made in Orkney. So I just fell in love with this, the colour and the softness of it, and I decided I had to knit something. So I have these 4 colours. Whoop. And I'm going to knit, I bought this book, Knit This, by Veronica Lindberg. And first of all, I thought I might knit the one on the front. It's really lovely. Let me just find a picture for you. Room to Bloom sweater. It's beautiful. And I thought that yarn would look lovely in it. Or it would look lovely in that yarn. But then I flipped through the book a bit more and saw this. Oh yeah. And at Ginger Twist they had a sample of it. So their sample was in the Orkney Angora, which was perfect because that's the yarn I decided I wanted. So I'm going to knit this lovely Dirty Caramel sweater using my Angora that I bought. But I'm not letting myself start it until I finish that sock. That's my when I finished it treat. Also, when I was at Ginger Twist, I got, stand on your head to read it, 200 Fair Isle designs. This is like a Bible of Fair Isle designs, and I used to sell it when I had the shop. And for some reason, never bought a copy for myself. So now I have rectified it, and I have my own copy. As I said, we also went to some bookshops. And I went Toppings, which is an amazing bookshop. full floor to ceiling with books. And I bought this Knitting Yarns, Writers on Knitting, edited by Anne Hood. I've been looking for this for quite a long time. It's been on my reading list for a couple of years, but I haven't been able to, they don't seem to have one in our library service around here. And I hadn't seen it in any shops. So I spotted this and her other one, Knitting Pearls. I only bought this one first of all, and I haven't read any of it yet, but I can't wait to read it, and I will feed back to you on what it's like and all the bits of wisdom I find. So yes, that's sort of what I've been up to in all my crafting. I have been preparing for this year's lot of workshops. My online Learn to Knit class is still a work in progress, but it's much further on than it was, which is great. And I should have that launched hopefully by the next time I speak to you all. And I'm also launching a Learn to Knit Socks class, online class. There's one which you can come to on the 22nd and the 29th of January online, so anywhere in the world you can access it, or there will be the opportunity to purchase the class and access it any time that suits you and learn to knit socks. And I am going to be building on that this year. So yeah, over on membership they have had some continental knitting videos and continental purling, and this month they have also got, can't remember what we did for crochet. My brain's like a sieve. Anyway, over on membership every month, if you are a Shetland or a BFL member, you get a video tutorial of a knitting video and a crochet video, and Yarn and Natter, which is online every month. Sometimes we have in-person meetups, and you get discounts on classes. And then if you're a BFL member, you either get a half-hour one-to-one with me each month or a gift, and you can choose month to month which one you go for. So yes, that's my membership. I'll put some more info in the bio. And yeah, happy knitting, crocheting, crafting. Hopefully I have some crochet to show you all next month. I'm definitely teaching some beginners to crochet, so I'm launching 3 new crocheters into the world, and yeah, see what else we get up to. Maybe I'll have started my caramel jumper. I will have. I wonder how far I've got. Anyway, happy knitting, crocheting. Speak to you all soon. The cat has now left me. Goodbye.